All right, cool. So what I wanted to do was spend a little bit of time just going over really quickly some of the things that we were going over in class. And just for your information, I'm going to go over these two problems, but they are not the problems that we went over in class. I kind of just made new ones. So the first thing that we learned in class was we were talking about the denominator, and we were calling it the measuring size unit. In other words, that's how many pieces we're cutting the BMU up into, and it's also the size that we're working with. So in this case, we are working with eighths, and we were using fraction strips to build these fractions that were over here in this column. So let's start really quickly. Right, there's my BMU. I know that that's 1. Right, that's a half. Cutting my half into a half, that's a fourth. Cutting my fourths into halves, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal pieces. Right, so that's 1/8. So if I want 5/8, then obviously I need 5 of them. Half, fourths, eighths, and I'm looking for 5/8. Remember the numerator, right? That's the number of the measuring size units we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5/8. So I would use my fraction strips, right? My eighths, and obviously I can build 5/8 using 5 of those fraction strips. Okay, let's move on to 2 3/4. So obviously the measuring size unit, we're working with fourths, right, in this problem. So, right, here's my BMU. Oh, I know this is 1, sorry. Fourths. Now, the thing is, I have 2 wholes and 3/4. So I have 1 whole, right? I'm gonna cut it up into fourths, but keep in mind that, right, I need 2 of these. Okay, this is a whole, that's 1 group of 4/4. I have another one that I'm making. I should probably write 1/4 in here to make sure that we know we're talking about fourths. Right? This is another whole. I have another group of 4/4. So far, I have 8/4, and now I need another 3/4. I'm only selecting these 3. Right? So how many fourths do I have altogether? 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So I have 11/4, or 2 wholes and 3/4. And what I went over briefly in class was I was going over the algorithm. So in elementary school, kids learn how to turn mixed numbers like 2 3/4 to improper fractions like 11/4. They get told that they need to multiply the denominator, which is, in this case, it would be 4 times 2, and then add the numerator. And this is why. So this 2 here, right? Oops, I should probably rewrite that. This 2 here is just telling me how many whole groups of fourths I have. So I have 2 whole groups of fourths. Or in other words, I have 8/4. And then I have another group of 3/4. It's not quite a whole yet, right? It's only 3 out of 4. So in total, I have 11/4. So I can also write that as 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Oops. Right? I can do that 11 times. And I have a collection of unit fractions. I have a collection of 1/4. I have 11 of them, which makes 11/4. All right, moving on.